Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Festa, my friends, and this... Wrong one. This is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Monday, everybody. Monday, May 4th. My God, the 5th month of the year. Where in the hell is the year gone? The first 4 months here, gone tomorrow, and still no disclosure. We're on our way to get there, folks. Got a bunch of great stuff to talk about today. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and welcome in our audience, and let's first see who the hell is in the audience before we start there. Chat, that's your calling, my friend. Let's see who's out there. All right, let me bring up the list of the participants, please. All right, let's increase the zoom because my eyes are getting tired. Aussie's out there along with Banana Booey. Good to see you, my friend. We got D. Henderson in the chat along with Dirty Dancer 8, Eliza Teal, Firefly, Frank Rappa, Gatsby Tango, and Geraldine Durazio. How about that? We got Ghost Fixer. Ty the Magnificence out there. How about that? I didn't think he watched this show, but let's go on with it. We got Ghost Fixer, Grateful Benny, GSBT, he is out there along with Hollywood Herald. We got Hypersonic Boom, I Love Books, Invisible Tracker, JJ, Cat Meow, and of course VG. Good to see you, my friend, or JV. JG, yeah. Joey Spade's out there along with Johnny Geldhill. We got Kathy, Kelly Bro, those piercing blue eyes. I know you'll show up eventually, my dear lady. We got Larry and the Sandells. Who else? People are moving around here. Where did it go? Milara, Marcus and Mandel's. Good to see my friend. It rhymes. How about that? We got Mr. Drew's Metal Gaming 420, Neil Morgan. Necessary dialogue out there, of course, along with Patrick the Magnificent. Did you disappear? How about that? Who else we have out there? We got Push King, Retro, Robert, Sally, Sam, Scooby-Dooby, Gooby, Stargazer, Steve Hines, Steve Mateo. I ran out of people. Teresa loves our president, the Chromosome Cowboy. Let me just get back. I'm almost there. All right. No, not that one. There we go. Who else? We got V. Simon, Wasteland Wonder, Wendy, Joe, When, Weebs, React. I did start the broadcast, I think. Who farted? 420 Yankee 5858 and yelled Tommy Tanker, but someone in their back put their hand up. Did I miss something? Did I screw up on something?
It was me. It was weird. So you sound perfect in the YouTube audio, but in the back you're sounding like you're talking to one of those old telephone and styrofoam cup deals. But now for some reason it's fixed.
Yeah, it's Google Meet. But the audio you hear through Google is not what the audience hears, and you just learned that.
Mm-hmm.
Who would that be talking? Let's go ahead and bring you in. Daryl, how the hell are you, my friend? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th also be with you.
And also with you, yeah, absolutely. Great how Star Wars came in and capitalized May 4th. I guess, besides, 420, May the 4th is also another big day at the dispensaries for whatever reason. Go out there and hit your deals, my friends, if they are still open. All right. Banana Booey is starting this off. He's got a question for us ready with the super chat. What does Banana Booey say? I don't know. I can find it here somewhere. It should be in this chat. I haven't brought up the regular chat yet, but Banana Booey says, I think a good topic is if these 47 videos released are fuzzy bullshit. Would that be the final straw for us to continue believing? We would be a laughing stock, and I think it's over. You demand. Thank you, Banana Booey. Daryl, that's a good question. It kind of gets us where we're going. You know, we have all these things that are promised.
Yeah. Banana Booey. The way you're thinking, though, I have to commend you because the way you're thinking probably would get those 46 videos released if they were 47. Just saying.
They may just give us one more without even asking. You never know.
Yeah, who knows? I would.
But Daryl, don't forget, we have documentation. There should be documentation going all the way back to like the mid to late 1930s from Magenta, Italy. Remember that UFO, the bell-shaped one? Not their Glock, but the bell from Italy that was actually transferred to the United States by the Pope at that time because he didn't want Mussolini or Hitler to get it.
And thank God. Well, apparently nobody's been able to really do much with it, as far as we know. But that 3-hour Dan Farah video thing with Dan Jones, that was too long.
You watched it? Wow.
No. I saw it was 3 hours, and I fed it into Grok, and I said, "Can you summarize what this actually? What is pushing Trump to release now?" And the answer was science. Like, we're behind in the science. We need to open it up so people can start working on it.
Trump cares about science. Yeah.
Science. And also national security was also part of that.
No, neither. The only reason he's going to do it or is considering doing it is because his name will go down in the history books. No one's done it before. No one's done anything as big as this before. Not sure where they kept it, everything, classified, but, he's going to do it.
Somewhere in that video, they must have used the term open because it said that, there goes my camera. What's going on?
I don't know. Your camera flipped and your audio got a little bit echoey again.
Oh, great. Take it over, Andy.
We got there. We're having a good time. But Andy, how you doing from the UK, my friend? Good to have you here.
Yeah, hi, Thomas. Happy, May the 4th be with everybody. I'm actually wearing my Boba Fett T-shirt. There you
nice.
Go, get my wig out of the way. Not by choice, this was a random pull out of my wardrobe earlier on. But yeah, it's good to be here tonight. Got a bank holiday here in the UK, so I'm off work for a change.
Oh, nice. It would have been nice to be off here today. It got up to 79 degrees, actually. It's still 76 out right now.
That sounds good to me, although I don't know what it is because we work in.
Yeah. So you think that Trump would want to bring out disclosure for science? I don't think so. That's not something like he would.
I don't think he will for that, no. And I think, it seems from what I've heard today that it's all kicking off back over in Iran again. So I think that's going to be taking a lot of his time up again. So we shall wait and see. I'm not holding my breath.
Well, neither am I, my friends. Neither am I. Just trying to keep trying not to bite my tongue, but I'll do it. It's hard sometimes. I'd love to say some things right now, but you know what? I have more than 24 people watching my show right now. If I only had 24 people watching it, I wouldn't be doing this show. If I only had 200 or 300 people watching the total views on it, I would have shut down this thing like 8 or 9 years ago, like when someone else first started. Okay, I said it without saying it.
Yeah.
Okay. On to the story. Some interesting things today. Yes. Yes, he has to grab Cuba first, but you know what? There's been an announcement recently, came today from Representative Anna Paulina Luna. And there's going to be a hearing coming up, Andy, on May 13th, only 9 days away. However, let's just get to the bad news. It has nothing to do with UFOs. It is coming from the House Oversight Task Force, but all right, I'll drop the bomb. They're getting into MK Ultra at this point.
So
they're not going to focus on the UFOs and get Trump to follow the frickin' breadcrumbs.
Is that a diversion, would you say?
Yeah, look at something over here shining. Look at this over here. Take a look at it. Don't pay attention to the,
We know your president seems to like shiny things.
This isn't a president thing. I think this is just them trying to go ahead and bring something out and keep us entertained at this point, because the truth of it is, it's been over 2 months since Trump said he was going to bring this shit out. Remember, and then we got it a week or so later. It's going to be very, very, very soon. And we haven't gotten
And how
there.
long does it take to sign an executive order?
Trump?
Straight away, isn't it? It's immediate. Yeah,
About 3 seconds.
Don't
3 to 5.
Use an auto pen.
No, he doesn't use an auto pen. He uses a Sharpie. I've got a green one here, but you can't see the top. There it is. It's blue there. I have a Sharpie here because I like Sharpies like Trump does too. Yeah. He could have signed an executive order already. Why? National security. National security. National security. Those are the 3 reasons. But Trump doesn't partake in national security, Daryl.
Yeah. Yeah, so the part of the other synopsis of that video was that because there's so many entrenched people in this secret, that it is difficult to get out. You would think, but I have faith in Trump because he's the most least likely person to give in to that kind of pressure.
Yes.
But apparently a lot of people have been pressured in the past and are still, actually.
I'm just looking forward to it. Whenever we can get there, we've been waiting forever. Over 90 years. Jesus Christ. Yeah, those people are all dead. Who are waiting from back then. You know, maybe we'll get there before George Knapp kicks off.
Oh, God, I'm sure he's hoping for that. Although he's been asked.
Nick Pope didn't make it. Yeah.
Unfortunately not.
All right, so let's get to the story here coming to us from News Nation, and Ross Coulthart is going to go ahead and tell us about Luna, you know, her MK Ultra hearing on the 13th, but just take one thing into consideration, Daryl. The Department of Defense deleted all medical records from 1973 and back. So all the documents that would have been there to cover what they were doing in MK Ultra are already destroyed.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole MK Ultra, how that popped up. Who gave that order?
It's not part of the initial list. I'd rather see 9/11 than I would see MK Ultra. How about you?
I mean,
I want to know what happened. Why did Building 8 come down like it did?
Right, there's some crazy things there.
Why did they use remote viewers to see what was going down and how far this blast actually went there, to see if it actually went through the granite that's blocking out the ocean way down there? There's a bunch of stuff that they knew that just doesn't add up. Like, I'll bring it up again. The 757 that impacted the Pentagon. Where the fuck are the big Pratt and Whitney or GE or Rolls-Royce engines? 757 has one engine on one side, one on the other, and they're like twice the size of the ones you'd have on a 737. They're fucking huge. Anytime you see a plane go ahead and hit a mountain head on and blast into something, what's always left? You got some seats and luggage and stuff around, but get these big, huge, mangled chunks of the engines always show, right?
Yes, that's a mountain. I don't know about reinforced concrete and steel.
Well, there's the center hole that came from the fuselage, fuselage is nothing compared to the engine mass, right?
You would know. Yeah, probably yes.
So you have the center hole from where the fuselage went, but there's no trenches on the ground where the engines could have hit, and there's no impact on the building.
This must be something about national security.
There we go. I'd have to agree. So anyway, let's drop that. I would rather have heard stuff about that, but we didn't. We're going to get in.
What does MK Ultra have to offer? I guess I don't know enough about it. Why is it a thing?
Because it's something that potentially went on back in the day, and they did some experimentation on the American public and others unknowingly.
They should have did it on psionics instead.
Yes.
Psionics should have been more discussion because the psionics program is pretty bad. If you could experiment on children.
I would like to see what they were doing with the kids that they were bringing in and they were recruiting from the Silva mind control program around 75 to 77, bringing them into their remote viewing and other stuff they had going. I would like to hear about that more than MK Ultra, because no drugs were needed for the kids because they had raw talent. But either way, let's get to this first thing here. And Nick, let's play the first video. Where is it at? All right, here we go, folks. Coming to us from Red Panda over on X. And we've got, let's hear this clip.
Saying that there will be a congressional hearing in less than 2 weeks on MK Ultra, of course, the CIA's top secret mind control research program that ran during the Cold War. What do you anticipate will be coming out of this? What are your thoughts?
MK Ultra, Natasha, as you would know, is one of the great dirty secrets of the CIA. From 53 to 73, the CIA tried what was called mind control experiments. They went crazy trying to find ways of manipulating human beings against their will. And that included, horrifically, the use of, for example, LSD, hallucinogenic drugs being given to unwitting innocent civilians in America by the CIA in circumstances that were highly controversial, including in circumstances where people died. The concerns that I think Anna Paulina Luna has is that this is part of the tip of an iceberg about the broad secrecy imposed by the CIA and the intelligence community. And she's all about basically getting to the truth of, are things being concealed to this day, not just about MK Ultra, but about the whole UAP issue, because it is beginning to look like there has been a cover-up. And we may, in coming weeks, get official confirmation of that from President Trump.
Well, I don't think there is a snowflake chance in hell that they're going to come clean on this. What do you think, Andy? Or Darryl?
There we are, family microphone. I don't think so. I just find it really a bit of a strange one to bring forward, MK Ultra, really. It's, you know, yes, it did affect people, but not that many people. You know, I'm sure, like you said, you know, on 9/11, and I'm sure there are other bigger issues that they need to bring forward.
Yeah,
this would have been at the tail end, I would expect, even if they'd bothered to bring it up at all.
My old agent actually got busted for manufacturing LSD, and he used his family card, his brother's stand, to get him out of trouble for doing that. Yeah, back in the days, you know, Berkeley, all those fun days. But yeah, but here's the thing. They tried to control people's minds to try and do stuff, and it all failed. They didn't do exactly what they thought it did. They didn't realize that giving people freaking hallucinogenics, LSD, magic mushrooms, all that kind of stuff, awaken people's consciousness, which is something you're not going to be able to control, right?
Yeah, but didn't they trial LSD on soldiers during World War II, I believe? It goes back as far as then, if memory serves me correct.
Yeah.
I know they certainly did trials earlier than MK Ultra ones, so you'd think they'd have some idea what the effects on people would have been already.
Yeah, but then again, we're talking about military intelligence, which is an oxymoron in its own right.
Yeah.
So, no hearing yet, folks, for UFOs or anything. Now, don't forget, they said they were going to bring out the first batch of files really soon. It's passed really soon, and it's passed very, very soon. My guess is, Andy, at this point, well, I just drank it in anticipation of what I was going to say, Darryl. It's wrapped up in the realms of national security, isn't it?
I would say 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, someone says the same. I feel the same about Corbell. We're son of a bitch. Would you look at that? If you can see this, you just need to look at that. God, I need to get an audio clip of him saying that. That needs to be in our repertoire. All right.
Corbell? Corbell says that? Corbell
no,
says
someone was saying about Corbell, and sure enough, we have the Sunday briefing coming to us from our friends at Fox News. Jeremy Corbell's here. It's a good one. We're going to go through everything where we're at, and we're going to retrench all this stuff. But I got to say this, though, Darryl. Searching UFO over on X, right? That's the term UFO or Trump UFO. The lamestream media has picked up on this, finally. It's starting to finally be covered at ABC, NBC, CBS National, and all the locals are starting to play through this story. about what we're talking here with regards to disclosure. That's a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. The girl that asked the question of Trump and when the astronauts were there, that was another new person to me that's asking when are you going to release the UFO stuff? So yeah, it's great.
We all want the UFO stuff, don't we?
Yeah, and hold Trump's feet to the fire for this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's play this clip. We'll watch it for the first time, and I won't interrupt, which is very hard for me to do. And we'll watch it then a second time, and we'll stop and interrupt. And how does that sound to you, Daryl? You have to get the reaction, but I always used to get complaints, people saying, Fessler, just shut up. Stop pausing it. We'll play for them, and then we have to do the interaction. So let's watch this first clip. Here we go, folks.
They want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material, and we're going to be releasing a lot of things that we have, and I think some of it's going to be very interesting to people.
Many historic developments in a story that I've been working on for 5 years, but our next guest has been working on for much longer. So let's start here. My interest was piqued when Barack Obama said this in 2021.
I got to pause this really quick. I'll just fuck it. I'll do it anyway. This is the guy you keep on pointing out to us, Daryl, isn't it? Peter Doocy. Yeah. He's the guy from Fox News who keeps on asking all these questions, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have him and Askapol, you wouldn't have anything.
If you didn't have him, you wouldn't have any. Askapol gets us the stuff, but the one who asks the president isn't Matt Laszlo.
Right. No, yeah, Doocy's definitely got the in everywhere. Everywhere the president goes, he's there.
Oh, I got to take a screenshot for posterity of that one. There we go.
My interest was piqued when Barack Obama said this in 2021.
When it comes to aliens, there's some things I just can't tell you on air.
I was so curious about that, so I asked the only man I knew at the time who could possibly help.
President Obama says that there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomenon. And he said,
hello, is there anybody home? No, nobody's there.
Says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think that it is?
I would ask him again. Thank you.
And that's all he could say. I would ask them again. What a schmuck.
I wish he would have played the whole thing where he walks off with gets retracted by the earpiece.
I know.
He could not get off that stage quick enough.
No. He ran away. And that was on a good day for Adderall.
Joe, I haven't had a chance to ask Barack Obama, and it had been eating at me. And then he said something else.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51.
If the last president couldn't help us with answers about aliens, maybe this one could. Spoiler alert, he did. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors?
Ooh. We would not be here if it wasn't for Peter Doocy asking Trump on here and egging him along, would we?
No, you wouldn't.
That's the, president said something. This means I can say something.
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information.
God, that look on his face. Andy, yes.
So what exactly was the classified information? Was it that aliens are real, or was it that
aliens are real?
51? Because he said that as well. They're not at Area 51. So if they're not at Area 51, where are they?
Yeah. Okay, so are there moderators going say we're more MAGA? I've always been MAGA, kind of, but I kind of go in the middle. Sorry, Lavera Lucchini. Yeah, we're fine. We should be good.
Hey, I'm from the UK. I got no skin in the game on that. So yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, you've got Starmer.
we've got a lot worse. Trust me. Yeah.
Yeah, love you, Lavera. Love you, girl.
Jeremy Corbell is an investigative journalist and the co-host of the Weaponized podcast. He knows more about this than anybody, and the new movie about him, Sleeping Dog and UFO Disclosure, is excellent. I watched it yesterday. Jeremy, there are 46 videos that Congress wants the Pentagon to declassify. The Pentagon missed the deadline to do it. But will these 46 videos be convincing enough to have Americans saying, I have no doubts aliens have visited Earth?
You know, I think that these are data points. I think these 46 videos are really important. I think the American public should be able to see them, and so does Congress. They specifically identified these 46 videos because they know that these videos exist. They are designated UAP by our own military and intelligence services. I have been exposed to a number of these. In fact, George Knapp and I provided that list to Congress. We've actually released some of those videos. So the American public is ready for this. Now, what it's going to tell us, what the end result is going to be, it's another data set of footage the American public can look at. But here is what I know for fact, Peter. There are machines, there are craft of unknown origin that fly with impunity in our restricted airspace. And our government has been assessing this as a national threat for decades. The jig is up. People now know UAP are real. But what are UAP? Who are flying these machines? Who made these machines that can outpace, outmaneuver, and outperform our greatest war fighters? That's the question.
And so you were just talking about this.
Hold on really quick. Andy, everyone in the back, we know this. The United States has never, though, let me rephrase this. Humanity has never had domain control over our skies, over our water, over our land, whether it's military or it's civilian. Never once have we ever had domain in complete control. They want to act like, oh my God, we can't talk about this because we don't have it. We've never had it because they've always been here. Andy?
Yeah, I think you're probably 100% correct. You know, we've only been flying, for 100 years?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's in the amount of time that we've spent flying, we've come a heck of a long way, but, you know, we're still barely going above the speed of sound, only military stuff. And we took a step backwards when Concorde got grounded. So, you know, we're not a high speed society when we're in the air. It's very few people are flying at those speeds. You know, these things can go ridiculous speeds compared with what we can do. So yeah, we've got no chance in the sky.
No, we don't. I mean, you have a craft, a jet fighter that's moving 400 miles an hour, right? And then you have another craft that's coming in at 3,000 miles an hour, and they have greater refined control. By the time that when that plane is moving and the UFO comes in and moves across, the plane all they have to do is blink. Their systems never even picked it up because it came so fast and left so quickly. Maybe they may have seen something out of a glint of their eye. And they interrupt our air shows where we get the best of our military pilots, the best of our technology to go out there and demonstrate it for everybody. What does the UAP do? They pop right down in the middle of it. Unless you have the good camera equipment, you won't see it. But if you do, you realize how freaking primitive we are with our best tech and our best pilots, probably their freaking average everyday technology.
Well, yeah. Also, with the technology we've got, you pull too fast a turn in the plane, the wings come off. You pull too fast a turn in the plane, the pilot blacks out. So yeah, we are really we've moved on, but again, our technology is
primitive compared to
when
theirs.
They first flew.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly. Really quick, for those who are not a fan of Jeremy Corbell is a realtor to pay his bills. He's also a documentarian. He's made movies about different stuff in the past. He's a producer and a director, which means he's a pitch guy. He's more of a documentarian than he is a ufologist researcher, if you know what I mean. So you just have to take in consideration of what his role is and what he's doing here. Coming from the role of being a pitch guy, he's doing a pretty good job pulling this all together and keeping a consistent conversation going, even when a lot of people, have gone off to the wayside and vanished. So something is better than nothing. Let's continue.
Got video that we can put up on the screen. One of the videos that your sources helped you guys get out of a government vault. It is a UAP over Syria in 2021, flying at an impossible speed, demonstrating instantaneous acceleration. This is the video. A lot of people will look at this and say, well, it could be China, it could be Russia, it could be somebody else. But when you see this and the other videos, some of the 45 other videos that you have seen, what do you think?
Yeah, look, we do not have the capability, unfortunately, for instantaneous motion. The idea of inertial effect and what would happen, this is baffling to the intelligence community. What George and I put out, it is their analysis that this is demonstrating, this craft, which is not aerodynamic. When you look at this video, it instantaneously shoots off to the right once the Reaper drone got a weapons grade lock on it. So its ability to maneuver is far beyond anything that China, Russia, or the US has. Look, this is a known secret on the inside. It's an open secret that UAP are real and that they're able to evade sometimes detection, but absolutely our weaponry. And it's an issue because they are oftentimes loitering over sensitive, critical infrastructure within the United States.
Really quick here, Andy. He's saying the UAP are real, not delving down into the case of the NHI themselves. You're muted, my friend.
Yeah, I had me mic on and then I turned it off. Yeah. So, does it come down to the, a lot of these objects are either sentient or some sort of drone? Or,
No, he's just leaving out of the conversation because honestly, I don't think we're going to get the admission that there is are they going to delve into the pilots and give us the information about that? Because remember, some of the videos Elizondo was talked about, which aren't in the list from that Jeremy Corbell helped Representative Eric Burleson put together, is not that 23-minute video that was out there that basically zoomed in close enough where you could see the occupancy of the craft. That's what we need to get.
Well, we had that with the Turkey UFO one.
Yeah, but that's so old from Gen 1 VHS Video 8 days. Any of the videos that any of the videos that get out there that actually show anything, they've been had to put through AI to go ahead and generate and give the detail you want. But when you're doing that, AI is creating the pixels. You don't have the actual photographs. Supposedly, the videos Lou's talked about are totally high definition, and you can clearly see the occupancy of the craft. Granted, he didn't say occupants. He said occupancy because he probably couldn't talk about occupants, but he could say that the craft you could see had occupancy. It's just a play on words, but it keeps you clean.
Got to do what you got to do, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Let's play some more. Here we go, folks.
This is not me saying this. This has been admitted by our own administration and government. I think we're closer than ever. The intent is to bring the truth forward to the American public. We are closer than ever, and it's just got to be done now.
And my last question, we have 2 minutes left in the show. You've reported that some of these UFO files for generations have been kept secret even from sitting presidents. Who would have the power in this country to decide, if not the president, that the American people don't have a right to know about something so important like UFOs?
Right. This is game changing, and it's nature itself. It's not something that should be held back. And presidents have admitted that they have been held out from that information. Very famously, President Clinton talked about that. Not the first time he said a president's been lied to. Well, now the pressure's on. Congress is asking for these.
No, a president who's been lied to. We're also talking about a president who lied to the American people. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
What is the definition of is?
What is the definition of sexual relations? Does that include glog, glog, glog? I would think so, doesn't it?
Glog, glog, glog is definitely in the Urban Dictionary next to sexual relations.
Yes, absolutely.
6 videos. And if we've ever had an administration and a president that sees the public interest and would enact upon that for the people, it would be this sitting president. So I'm very encouraged at this moment. We have an opportunity. None of these have really been announcements. It's an opportunity now for the American public to understand the UFO presence is real and that it's been going on a long time, and it has been of national security concern.
And we have less than a minute left in the show, but
so gotta ask the question. He's talking about having a national security concern. Before we get to the last question coming here from Peter Ducey, last I checked, just to be clear, Jeremy Corbell is an investigative journalist, documentarian in this area. Correct, Daryl? Sound accurate?
Yeah, pretty good, yeah.
And someone in his role does not have a role with the federal government of the United States? That would be accurate?
Yeah.
And someone in his role should not have signed any NDAs with regards to him not being able to talk about stuff?
Yeah, I don't think so.
So him, like Ross Coulthart, who talks about the UFOs that's so big, they buried it and put a building on top of it. Neither of these journalists are under NDAs, are under anything to prevent them from talking about this, yet they still talk about it and they still use the 2 words, Daryl, get ready for it, national security. Right?
Exactly.
Why is a reporter who's, it would kind of be like, oh, we can't break Watergate. That would fuck with national security.
No, he certainly can.
We can't bring out Iran-Contra because that would screw with national security. But then again, we could get Reagan in there and ask him questions, and he would say, well, let me get this. Well, I don't remember. And that was his line because he was going through mental issues or such at that time. But the reality of it is there's a lot of stuff they could always use that pull the national security card. And they do. But still, if you're a reporter and you have the information, what is wrong with breaking the fucking story?
Journalistic integrity will be the first response to that.
What do you mean?
Meaning you don't burn your sources.
Well, he doesn't have to drop his sources' names. You can bring out the truth and not say from an unnamed source from the federal government. That makes it really
what if
big.
That source said, you can't tell anybody.
When's the last time you saw a reporter actually have integrity, especially from CNN or Fox News?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. We got another super chat in. Who we get this one coming from? Best format. Cheers, Thomas and Mike. He may be listening. He said he was going to stop in.
Oh, that was 3 times. Mike.
Yeah, I know. You say the word 3 times. He said he will appear in a number of seconds. I don't think he's out at ShopRite right now, though. All right, let's hear the last question. Go to Jeremy. Got a bunch of fun times to go. Yeah, we're stretching it today because it's not going on.
Ask our audience if they had questions for you. And Lena sent one in. She wants to know, are they, presumably aliens, walking around right now and we don't know it?
Ooh.
Yeah, so if we don't get past the first question, we don't get past the first acknowledgement, we're never going to know the interaction that whoever these pilots are of these craft of unknown origin that they believe do not originate here on Earth. If we don't get past that first question, we're never going to be able to answer that question.
What is the first question again? Son of a bitch.
Sitting presidents. Who would have the power in this country to decide, if not the president, that the American people don't have a right to know about something so...
Okay, that's the first question. Talking.
Very lied to. Well, now the pressure is on people. It would be this sitting president. It's real, and that it's been going on a long time.
Left in the show, but we asked our audience if they had questions for you. And Lena sent one in. She wants to know, Are they, presumably aliens, walking around right now? And
so Jeremy won't even get into this thing to say, do we have the, aliens in disguise or alien hybrids walking around? But he won't even talk about it. What does he want to have talked about first? That the truth that the ships are out there or something?
What's his name? Bob Bigelow said on 60 Minutes he knows they're walking among us right now.
Yeah.
And what's her name? The reporter said, are you sure you want to say that? Yeah, because it's true.
But is it them physically walking through on our streets right now? Or is it people who have consciousness attachments to them, and they're literally walking around right now, not necessarily in their own boots, but they have control of the eyes and ears and everything else getting there? I don't know.
Yeah, so many things in the book of possibilities.
Yeah, there is. So, all right. So we're going to get something. Who Farted 420 is saying April 20th. Is there something coming on? April 20th was like last month. We'll figure it out. All right. So let's get back out of this particular post. We got other things we got to cover here yet tonight. Oh, where am I at? We got Liberation Times. Oh, this is a good one. Liberation Times. Christopher Sharp, someone who we've been supporting since he put out a Patreon a long time ago. It's a little bit easier so we can see it. He put out a post the other day. Christopher asked how far disclosure could go to his sources that he deals with on a regular basis. Two sources told Christopher Sharp that existence of recovered exotic materials may be acknowledged, including the United States has possession of them. And from Lou, but because we've been told, Daryl, as well, we will get an acknowledgement of this. No more, no less. Which, that ties into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that also ties in that Dan Farrow interview, if you believe it or not, because the open wound they were talking about was the fact that we have the recovered stuff, but we don't know how it works yet. And so does China, and so does Russia. But they have thousands of scientists working on this stuff.
1 million people reportedly in China are working on it now.
Yeah, because we haven't recognized it as a real thing. And so that was his point, apparently, in the video, is that's the reason why he's rushing to disclosure, because we're behind.
That decision, if taken, will be based on an understanding that other nations possess similar vehicles. The aim, sources said, would be to increase resources dedicated to reverse engineering the technology amid what is alleged to be an exploitation race with adversary nations. Yes, we need to come together. My video game that I came up with back in, 93, 92, Operation Fathom, all the countries of the world came together with their technology to reverse engineer a craft that could take on the non-human intelligence, the aliens at that time, as I called them, on a level with their own technology, because that's the only way we could go head to head, would be have technology that's equivalent to theirs. And if we're working in silos, we'll never get there.
Mm-hmm.
However, the sources said any technology derived from such vehicles is unlikely to be disclosed, as doing so could breach national security. What are you talking about? Like how they electrify the skin of the B-1, of the B-2 bomber and the B-21 Spirit? That's not our stuff. That's kind of is what we've been saying here, Daryl. They're going to give us the stuff. They're going to give it to us. They're not going to give us details. And if it's going to come down to the craft, the energy systems, the propulsion systems, et cetera, we ain't going to get shit out of that. But the biggest thing we talked about in the last show, I think we all want to get more than anything, is what the fuck are they doing here? I don't care where they came from, how long it took them to get here with their technology, how their craft works, how they can build a warp field around their craft, and they're not moving in our air, they're moving through it, and they're not subject to, you know, our laws of physics and a bunch of stuff. They may be popping in and out of dimensions and have bases on the bottom of the ocean. That's fine. I don't care about any of that. What are they doing when they're, you know, and I don't care, honestly, about what the fuck they're doing over our nuclear power plants or what they're doing over our military bases, because that's all classified in national security. What the hell are they doing on this planet over the homeland and to the people of the country that are actually funding the country through taxes? That's what I'd like to know. I think that's what we all deserve to know. You know, Shelley says, what do they want? What they're doing here will define what they actually want, because they're already doing it, their intent. Exactly. And a bunch of people, including David Grush, has said, these aren't our friends. They're not here to help us. They're here to do what they need to do. Period.
Yeah, I think that that what he said there, it's, if you start hearing that from more people, that is the reason why disclosure is on the verge of coming to fruition. I'd probably pay attention to that, because that's exactly what Farrah was saying in that interview. With,
honestly, the only reason disclosure is coming to fruition is not on the acts of Congress. It's literally coming out of that we have a president of the White House who's receptive to bringing it out.
Patrick Fogarty.
Patrick, go ahead.
Howdy. Not only are we hearing that they're not our friends, but we heard J.D. Vance say something very particular. He said that they're demons. So I am very interested to see where this goes if we do have any level of disclosure, and then a post interview with J.D., how he feels about it. I mean, that's huge to call something demonic. We're not glazing over that. We're going to now disclose something that the vice president thinks is demonic.
Yeah, the post disclosure interviews with the president, who doesn't believe in UFOs, as he said, and JD saying he thinks they are demons, should be really interesting.
Sorry, I was just dealing with a pervert in the chat. I had to get rid of it.
Andy's still in the chat, though.
It's not Andy. Somebody else. Yeah, Patrick, your thoughts on that? Or actually, was just brought in. I get where you're coming from on this. Now, you're kind of involved from the Catholic side of things. Are you seeing these things as more of angels and demons? Or are you seeing this as potentially as being a non-human intelligence who's here, who's highly advanced, that we should not be confusing for religious or non-religious, anti-religious icons?
Well, I am proud to say that I was raised and taught into the Catholic Church by Jesuits. So I am open for discovery. If they want to prove themselves to be demonic, then here I am to witness. And if they want to prove themselves to be other stuff, hey, the earth is round, baby.
Now, we've heard, though, they're not good. They're not bad, or they're not evil. They are what they are. They're alien, and we cannot take the paradigms of humanity, human emotion, human behavior, and attribute it to these things because they are so alien from us.
Depending. I think that there's many layers. I mean, we've discussed this before. I think that we are taking so many different things and throwing a blanket over them and calling them UFOs and aliens. You can be dealing with stuff that is foreign to our planet, but has been here longer than us and has.
They've been here a very long time, and they've been alongside with us. But here's the thing: they're probably not alone. If you have one kind of bacteria, you probably have a whole bunch of other kinds, right?
But you also have viruses, which operate on a completely different.
But if you have one virus, you've got a whole bunch of other different viruses.
Exactly.
How often do you have just one of anything?
Exactly. So I think that we're looking at something that is tangible within our dimension, something that's, bouncing to the same beat. It's within our same frequency, and it has hid from us because it knows what we do. We are a lower intellect being than itself. We are much newer here. It's much more evolved than us. We've only had decent technologies within the last 150 years. I got talking with a client about this today. If we were to mark the Overton window where modern society started, I would say it was the first chemical photograph. From that point forward, chemistry started to move very quickly. Physics moved very quickly. We moved into driving cars, flying planes, flying to the moon. But we only have
so in other words, what you're saying,
window.
for the last 100,000 years, humanity has been moving around really slow. We got the wheel and everything, and it took us forever to get to it. But in the last 100 years, 150 years, our advancement in technology has been the perfect hockey stick straight up, kind of, right?
Yeah, and I think that we've stagnated in the last, I would say, 2 decades, 3 decades, and with the excitement that we gave. I mean, think about it. The jump to digital was pretty cool. The jump to the internet, it was entertaining. But really, since that point, our lives have been based around screens. We went from traveling from our planet to an exoplanet. Russia was landing on asteroids and other planets with probes. And today, we're bitching that we can't get Wi-Fi on our planes. We've gone backwards. So if this is I've heard some people say the reason that they want to push for disclosure. I don't know what the hell that was.
I've got a good saying here. I want to bring this up really quick since you're talking. This goes into it. And I believe this is a quote from Captain Kirk. I can probably play this part right here. Oh, let's see if I can get this together. I think I can. I gotta, okay.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. This is a good question.
It will carry my power to every corner.
There we go. Yes. Religion getting into Star Trek. I love this is part of it. He's going to get in there.
Excuse me.
Kirk has got to ask the question. I keep on pausing this because I got like 8 seconds of video and audio before I'll get killed.
I'd just like to ask a question.
Here, okay, he wants to ask the question of good old God here. Looks like a white dude with a beard and gray hair. That's the God everyone thinks.
What does God need with a starship?
What does God, what does an angel, what does a demon need with a starship, Patrick? They don't, do they?
I don't think they do. I don't think they do. But if you're trying to deceive people to believe something that's not true, I guess you would disguise yourself as something marvelous and fantastic beyond imagination. So to follow the J.D. Vance ideology, and I'm not defending it, and this isn't my thought, so don't for anyone's assumption think that this is me. But the idea is that anything evil will act as something that'll attract you away from the thoughts and methods of God. Okay, so this is where you get this evangelical idea.
Steve Jobs was Satan, because he's the one who created the iPhone and all the Android phones and everything else that is taking all of our attention these days.
Oh, you should see the stuff they say about Steve Jobs. They go on to the fact that Apple, as a bite out of it, has anything to do with Eve and the Garden of Eden. And I'm like, you guys need to put the Bible down and stop taking acid before you pick it up. Like, I mean, the people go way too far with what they feel is demonic. Everyone has free will, so my free will is to watch what happens. I have no assumption of this, but the evangelical idea is that there were these fallen angels that had come to earth, and they bring a demonic cause. They're the children of Lucifer, and that this is what these beings are. They'll deceive you any way that they can. They'll draw you away from the idea of God. What are you saying?
Like Democrats and Republicans. They'll deceive us, yeah.
They'll deceive you. They're supposed to draw you away from God, and that's what the idea of the aliens is supposed to be. Because if there's aliens, then our creation story is bullshit and blah 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 blah. That's the whole idea of why, like Tucker Carlson and J.D. Vance, and I know J.D.
Tucker
is
Carlson, yeah.
well, JD's a Catholic now too, but I'm not buying into it. I bet he's going to jump on the Sean Hannity bandwagon.
But he's got a wife who's Hindu, thank God, because it's the best of two religions coming together and the power of that, you know.
Hinduism is awesome. Like
I know,
mean,
it's not a religion. It's a mind kind of.
It's a science fiction
Yeah.
series. It's awesome, man. So no, but
The Mahabharata 2.0.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm interested to see what happens when this disclosure does occur, because I really like Tim Burchett. I have a lot of respect for the guy. He wants honesty. He wants a truth. Dadgummit. But
Dadgummit.
Yeah, dadgummit. But what is this going to do for the Tim Burchetts when they expose that? Well, we have no reason to believe it's demonic, but I can tell you that we have benefited from it based on.
But the shit they do, they will say it's demonic because they'll say, "Oh my God, these things are so evil. Look what they're doing."
Yeah,
it's the incarnate of Satan himself. But let's go to someone who sees this from. Let's pause, Patrick. Come right back. Please don't leave. Actually, Laura has her hand up first. She's had it up for a while, and then Ed. But let's cycle this. But I think Ez is going to tie into what you're saying, because there's also been some people saying, Ed, we'll get to you in a second, about the rapture happening in September, the month after what you were calling out before.
Yeah, well, I haven't really been pushing that real hard lately. I just kind of been sitting back watching what everybody else is saying with this. But I couldn't help but come up with two observations while I was waiting for you to call on me. And the first one, when you said there's nothing, I think it was something, there's nothing like an original or something, nothing that there's only one of, something like that. And I was thinking, what about Susan Goff? There's only one of them. Can't be replaced by anybody else. It's one of a kind. So there. Yeah, that's exactly. And you bring the picture up one more time.
She is not a unicorn. I'm sorry.
No. Bring up the picture again of God. I want to make a comparison.
Oh, you want the picture? Oh God, where did I?
Yeah, some Star Trek picture.
I know.
Of God. You're gonna like this.
I had this here. I lost it. I got to find it again.
Yeah, well, I'll do it verbally, and I think you can probably remember back. It looks just like Andy. That picture of God.
Oh my God.
And I don't know if he's like sneaking in on us, and that's really God, or if that's really Andy from UK. I don't know, but they look alike in that picture.
Yeah.
I'm just going to jump in and say I'm not that way inclined.
Oh, there you go. Now let me okay, now I got to throw out my funnies. Let me get serious for this. Now, I've been quiet about this, but there is a growing number of people that believe that these are spiritual and they're interdimensional.
I would say they're consciousness based, and I just don't want to go ahead and mix spirituality with consciousness, because if you do that, you bring religion in. But if you talk about it, yes, they are 100% consciousness based. They can connect with us. We can connect with them. They can make attachments we can't get rid of, but it's a two-way connection. Just people don't realize it. But yes, they are. They're very advanced in the area of consciousness.
Well, when you say they'll bring in religion, I just want to throw this out to postulate this. What if they're right? So for people that say there is no religion, I'm not interested in this. I don't.
No, I wasn't saying. I just don't want to mix it with religion, because religion is something you believe in. I want to deal with this in a factual way.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you. One final point. I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. One final point is the no need for a ship. I've been one who have for years said, I believe they use ships. I believe particularly those fallen angels use ships because there's no indication that they had any heavenly capabilities once they'd lost their bearing or their stance in proximity with God, and they're tossed out to the earth. They're probably acting like normal humans would be, and cannot do all the things that we've talked about these other beings being able to do.
Interesting.
Does that make any sense to you, Thomas?
Yeah, it does. Everyone has a different, we're all looking at the same thing, but we're all looking at it with a different lens and a different eyes. So what you're seeing from, it makes sense from your perspective. All of them see it from different ways. I just don't want this to go ahead and become another religion.
Well, I'm with you. And for the third or fourth time, I'm not going to be the one to debate that. If someone else wants to, they're more than welcome to. My question is really one more of logic. I know you don't believe we should tie religion into it. I got that. So with that as the premise, my question back to you is, what would happen if it turns out that it is a religion and not just consciousness?
Well, what makes it a religion, though?
Okay, then aliens came down, and the aliens are the ones who abducted Mary and inseminated her, although she never had sex, and she had Jesus, which makes Jesus the love child of a earth-born human and genetic modifications coming from the non-human intelligence.
Well, it's interesting you bring up that example because
I like God as being vengeful.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting
Really accelerated
to look at that from that perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. I just wanted to throw that out as a possibility.
Yeah, it's all a possibility, definitely. Laura, did you have your hand up before? Did you want to talk?
Yes, I did. I spent the last 3 days at Contact Modalities.
What was that?
It was, how was it, or where was it?
What was it?
It was basically a group of people from all over the country that got together and had lectures, workshops. Many of the people have had direct experience with beings.
Mm-hmm.
The overall feeling, I would say, I think I can speak for a lot of the people in being at many of the events, is that it all kind of, not throwing out the religion because that's fine. There's room for everything. It is very consciousness related, and I witnessed like part of it. We looked at Dahlia and her daughter Lido, and they did demonstrations of telepathy. I did it myself. I was in a workshop. I got 100% looking with a blindfold, seeing colors. So, you go, there is something there. People have to wrap their minds around that. We also had that Dr. Diane Hennessy. She's going to be coming out with another book soon with more, she's coming from the scientific study of it, the research, made some breakthroughs. The God helmet guy was there. One of the MCs had an experience with it. He can't even talk about it.
Is the God helmet the thing you put on to prevent them from getting into your heads?
No, to prevent them. No, it actually stimulates parts of your brain that basically get you to that level of consciousness that is outside the body and access to things.
Mm-hmm.
It was so dramatic, he can't quite talk about it yet, but he said it was super cool. It's like a DMT experience without taking the drug DMT.
Gotcha.
But a lot of people made breakthroughs. They took a telepathy class with Diane and actually were shocked. And these are people older, and they were like, wow, I was able to do it. How is this? So I watched a lot of this. And then we talked about the UFO, and they compared with my experience was with this entity, and this is what this looked like. And the government, we talked about the government, and some of the people are very involved with government. And I learned a few things that I can talk about after the show. But I would say that the concern overall, too, was with the fact that they don't want it to be all fear-based, because some of these people have been having really positive healing experiences.
Yeah.
People dying of cancer where they came down and cured them. And then the doctors were like, I don't know what to make of this. And they're like, well, this being, for what purpose in the long run, I don't know. But immediate results were positive. So it's from what you need to talk to more of these contactees. You want to get to the bottom of a lot of this, you get the scientists involved. I am also seeing problems with people skywatching and misinterpreting a lot of satellites for craft. So you got to balance. It's going to be really tricky as this comes out with truths and still figuring it out. And that's, I guess, all I wanted to say about that.
Great words as I'm chewing on some shrimp dim sum right now. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
It's so good. I just can't pass it up. I was just given a bowl of like the little shrimp things are inside the, what do you want to call it? Inside the little wrapper, and you've got the sauce and onions to dip it in. Oh my God. Sorry, folks. I didn't have a big dinner tonight, so. Yeah, it's consciousness. It's the way we get there, and it's great you're coming together. One of the things I've always seen, Laura, or felt is that when you get multiple experiencers together, it's like the Wonder Twins of power that escalates or multiplies. It's like, form of water, shape of a bucket. The Wonder Twins from the old, the Super Friends we had on, Saturday morning cartoons when we were a kid growing together. It's, you have the one Wonder Twin turns into a bucket, the other one turns into water, the water then jumps into the bucket, and the monkey takes the water and throws it on the fire and prevents everything from burning down. We all have a different piece of the puzzle we bring together, and when we come together, right, it gives us this acceleration, amplification of what our abilities are, that when we do this shit alone.
Right. It lifts, it just opens the field more. And that's what people seem to be tapping into, this field we talk about.
Yeah.
The same thing can be said about if you're in a group of people that are negative, don't believe, repressed, it kind of, it pushes it down. So that's another interesting thing about it.
It's almost like taking someone who has those skills and pouring a bunch of psilocybin on it and watching it like take off and like pouring gasoline on a fire.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people went to it saying that it's very difficult because they're having experiences and they can't talk to other people about it, which is, we're still dealing with that.
The same shit that happened to me in late 2019, which made me never do it again because I'm here alone doing this stuff. And if I'm going to do it, I need to have other people around me to deal with this because it's pretty freaking heavy.
Yep.
All right. Nick, your hand is up, my friend. Nick. Going once. Going twice. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. All right, so now we've got a clip coming from the Danny Jones podcast. I know you were bringing this up, Daryl, and I know it went on for 3 hours, but I got a minute and 34 seconds when he's talking about Trump gave a presidential directive to declassify evidence of non-human intelligent life and UAP. That's not what Trump said. He said, I'm going to release the UFO files. So let's take it to this, and let's play this clip and see where it goes. Here we go, folks.
Interest and really accelerating disclosure. It led to like 4 weeks ago, Trump gave a presidential directive to declassify evidence of non-human intelligent life and UAP.
No, he said he was going to release the UFO files. Nothing about NHAI or aliens or anything. He said he's going to release the UFO files. Now, a couple days after that, they actually did go ahead and register aliens.gov and alien.gov coming out of the executive branch, going and doing it. So this is just Dan blowing the president out of the water for what he had said. Just pointing that out.
Declassify evidence of non-human intelligent life and UAP, and I'm sure you saw that, And in the week since, two of his cabinet members, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, and Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, have been basically going through the process of trying to identify what evidence exists that can safely be declassified and shared with the American public without becoming a threat to national security. And what I've been told
Wait a minute.
through my relationship.
God damn it. Daryl, it happened again. They said the word national security again. Why is it all these fucking film heads are all have their head up the ass and worried about national security? Have they all had a talking to or something? Or have they all been like fucking sent to the corner and time out? They have to bring up national security so many times?
Yeah, I don't know that it goes to that extreme for Dan Farah. Maybe it does. It certainly has gone to that extreme for David Grush and some other people like Matthew Sullivan, who is unfortunately not with us anymore. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it could get to that level, I guess.
Yeah. I just call bullshit at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he is a director. Yeah, I mean,
he's a fancier version of Jeremy Corbell, except he got his wings in this. He was the producer of the Ariel story by James Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Frustrating, yes, Craig.
Is that they are receiving a lot of pushback from the folks who have gatekept this, despite the fact that there's a presidential directive. They're still getting blocked from getting to this very real evidence that exists.
Yeah, the idea is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what I got from the documentary was in the 40s after.
No, let's get in here. Lewis talked about this in the past, folks. He's talked about those in the roles who are long-term employees within the federal government. We're talking about those unelected bureaucrats who look at the requests that are coming in from the new administration saying, you want to release what? You fucking crazy? You're not going to release this. I ain't going to listen to your shit. You're here today. You'll be gone in fucking 3 years. Fuck you. I'm not going to give it out. Does that sound about accurate, Daryl? It's basically we have people in these bureaucratic roles who are not elected into office who are making the decisions for national security. Drink again. To keep it quiet when the president who's still wants to bring it out, but they're saying no.
Well, you have with Tulsi Gabbard, DNI. You have what's his name, Ratcliffe, and CIA.
But I have to say, and all the shit about UFOs going on in the whole bit, Ratcliffe has not opened his mouth fucking once, not for one syllable. But if you look at what Ratcliffe said at the end of the administration about we have all this stuff, we want to bring disclosure out, we saw these different things, but we ran out of time, but we're going to do it.
Right. So don't run out of time is the lesson. And this is at least happening within a year or a year and a half of Trump's presidency. So hopefully that's good.
Yeah. Hopefully. All right. Yeah, I'm a little peeved. I'll be honest. I'll let out my emotion tonight. Sorry, folks. I usually keep it bottled in, but this is upsetting to me too, Daryl. It's just we want to bring out the truth, and I have a staunch opinion on it, and I am proud to have it. People say I should play both sides of the fence. What am I going to take it in the mouth and in the ass at the same time? No, I don't want to.
All this stuff got sucked up into private contractors, and it's been controlled by private contractors, and people have rotated in and out of top level positions over the decades, and now the new people that come in don't even get briefed on this stuff, and essentially all of that, whatever you want to call it, black budget stuff or recovered craft, is being controlled by the private sector, and even like top tier generals can't even get access to it in the government. So the government, there's like the secret war between the US government and private industry trying to wrestle control of this stuff, whatever.
You really think, Daryl, for national security state of mind, I'm gonna have to get a refill here myself as well. Do you think we're at a point where the DOD, the CIA, the DOE is afraid of the contractors because we've given them this stuff and they're doing things with it? If they were doing things with it and was a threat to national security by what we gave them, don't you think we would march the military right in and take over their location and say, sorry, guys, you're done?
Yeah, I have a feeling that, and anybody in this chat will probably agree, that I have a feeling money plays a lot into the decisions that are being made. Money and maybe the fear of death. I think that there's a lot of that going on, and the only person that can affect that is Trump, I think. And you're right, he's got to do something authoritative to make that happen and be decisive, because there's it's got to crumble from the top. I think it's not going to happen underneath.
Yeah, I gotcha. Patrick, are you still in the back?
Actual UFOs.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So this next one is from you, is coming from CBN News, Christian Broadcasting Network News, talking about the President Trump's UFO declassification could point to a possibility that angels and demons exist, not aliens.
That would be cool.
So let me play this
honestly,
clip. I am going to go get a refill of national security for obviously national security reasons so I can continue to play along. I encourage everybody else. So let me play this.
I ran out. This isn't fair. You have me on when I wanted to refill, but you go refill and I'll watch.
Okay, let's get this clip and you can react to it as soon as it finishes. How about that? I'll even put you on camera.
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's Thomas video guest. Let's get to Christian Broadcasting Network, and then you can take this schmuck on. Here we go.
Yeah, one more thing about this, because we should just dive into this conversation about what it might be, right? Because I think that is and we address this in the film. If you have a couple of options, you're either dealing with actual UFOs and aliens, that there are created beings beyond this world that we don't understand, and there are some Christians that are comfortable with that. Or you're dealing with what she said, which is interdimensional beings. Now, that's interesting because what is an interdimensional being? Well, a demon would be an interdimensional being, essentially, right? If you believe in angels and demons and you're a Christian, that's what that would be. So one of the primary theories, and this is one that I think is probably the most prevalent among Christians right now, is that people are not actually seeing aliens that are created species outside of humans living somewhere in the universe. They're actually seeing a spiritual manifestation of something that perhaps they're seeing into the spiritual realm. And there are a number of reasons why, and I know this sounds kind of wild, but we address this in the film. The evidence for why that actually could be the case is pretty interesting, and there's some compelling arguments for it.
Well, Patrick, your thoughts?
Oh my gosh, that guy gives me a headache. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's almost like you're Mike talking about fucking Susan Goff. Mike.
Oh. Well, see, the thing is, Thomas, this guy discredits the reality that both components of his faith and interdimensionality can be true without them being the same thing. And I've explained this multiple times, and it's basic science. And this is how we get isotopes, and it's just a matter of time until the government releases the information and says, look.
So you're talking about the metamaterials of the craft that are made out of isotopes, not out of elements, that are different ways that you actually could create very pure versions of the particular materials for creating the shell of the craft or whatever it is. Not only are they created that way, but they're laid down in atomic layers. And when we try to recreate this stuff, they get delamination problems going, and it doesn't stick together. So,
well, that's kind of part of it. So, like, the theory used to be, and it still is, that a lot of the isotopes they found, the bismuth isotopes, and as Mr. Lazar had stated, element 115, which is also on the, if you put on the periodic tables where you line it up, is directly under bismuth. So it explains why we're keep seeing bismuth in these materials, these metamaterials and whatnot. But beyond that, it's a possibility that these things that we're seeing, some of them, not all of them, because I don't want to put them all in the same basket. I think there's multiple things going on here. But let's just say the beings that have a presence around nuclear test sites, the beings that have a presence around our nuclear weapons, these things, I think, are ever present with us. But
we lost the last 15-20 seconds. You broke up and slowed down. You hit a bad data connection, or the CIA's hitting your connections again.
It's probably the latter of the two. I'll try it one more time. So I think what we're seeing is with these nuclear beings, these things that are attracted to us for nuclear reasons, are ever present with us all of the time, but they're operating in a harmonic frequency of us, meaning that we can't see them. Just as when I tune my radio to a station, I'm not listening to the other stations.
Okay, pause for a second. Okay, we have 737s here in Washington State going to Seattle-Tacoma Airport all the time, circling around, coming in. If you look up in the sky, you see a 737 cycling and coming in. If you take a $12,000 camera with a 320 by 240 freaking resolution for the way that it works, because it's high tech, and you're trying to record stuff that has a signal, or what do you call it? Infrared signal that's equivalent to being negative 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you can see flying right behind the jet, as it's coming into SeaTac, there's another craft that's flying along with it, in tandem with it. Or there's another craft that's flying in tandem with it, that's another chevron-shaped craft, along with an orb that's moving in tandem, following behind our stuff. So along those lines, they are here, they are everywhere, but they do what they can to hide from the normal everyday public that 99.9997 of people are not going to have that $12,000 camera that exposes them. And if enough people get that camera, guess what they'll do? They'll modify their technology so we can't see them.
Well, as I had said, ever present, so they've always been there, but operating on a harmonic frequency. And it's very important that it's a harmonic frequency. Anyone who's played a guitar or used a tuning fork, when you take that tuning fork and you whack it and you touch it against a piano or your harmonica or your guitar, it will make the other things resonate within that frequency. Now, they don't know that a tuning fork was present. They don't know that that's what was tapped into their frequency. We can't necessarily see beyond our own frequency. But when we set off a nuclear weapon, when we did the Trinity bomb test, and they had the videos of it, and they saw these weird things show up and then fall to the ground, and then the rest became classified, and we created this thing called the Department of Energy. It's ironic that that was some of the information that they wanted to withhold. It was when you have a nuclear weapon, when you have nuclear fission, you're breaking every frequency that bonds that atomically, and you're spreading it out, and you're rapidly exposing anything present. So those things that are within our harmonic frequency that are watching us saying, are they really going to do this? Or is this going to happen?
So,
all of it.
Got to ask the question. You brought up the stuff about nukes being shot off, right?
Yeah.
Of the 2,476 devices that we've blown up, but, approximately 2,056 that we have actually blown up, with United States in the lead with 1,030 nukes we've blown off, up to 1,054, including the joint tests with the UK because we brought them along for them to participate. Russia had 715, France 210, et cetera, et cetera. Out of all these different nuclear tests that we've done, that 2,000 number, there's going to be a significant number of nukes that we shot off and we blew up specifically to attract the non-human intelligence. There's no reason why the United States would have had a need for blowing up 1,030 of these.
Well, you have to remember, too, every time they've become present after that, what has been their warning to people, whether it was the kids in Australia, the kids in South Africa, what did they remind them of? What did they tell them not to do?
Don't cut down all the trees in Brazil. The earth will suffocate.
Avoid technology, avoid nuclear technologies. So here's the thing, right? I think that their fear was we were going to screw up the frequency of the planet. What do they refer to that the frequency as? I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Instagram with it. The
Schumann resonance?
Schumann resonance. That's it. Thank you.
Thank God for my consciousness, because I wasn't sure what you're talking about. But Schumann resonance popped up, and there we go.
I'm enjoying our state legal cannabis, so I would have remembered Schumann resonance if not.
It's not obvious. I was saying you're not driving your vehicle. It's parked somewhere, right?
I'm sitting at my shop.
Oh, there you
find behind my house. So, no, this is where I go for silence. I have 4 kids.
No, I thought you had another shop you go to for silence.
I've got a few, but this one's at my house.
Yeah. Anyways, national security is strong today.
Is it cutting in and out?
No, national security is strong today. Daryl would understand.
Oh, yeah, with them mentioning it. No,
Yeah. Someone drank up my mixer of freaking cranberry juice. So I had to go with the 3-berry blend. If I deal with too much Red Bull this late at night, I'll never.
Well,
Go ahead.
anyways, so back to the Schumann resonance thing. The Schumann resonance I've been seeing in all these Instagram feeds that I'm not big on it, so I'm not going to claim to even
That's
know
basically
what
the
hell I'm seeing.
heartbeat of the Earth. Every 26 seconds, we get this resonance that comes off the Earth, and there's a signal we're looking at, and we're visualizing it, right? But we see variances in that signal. But it's equivalent to the Schumann resonance is equivalent to our heartbeat.
And from what I understand, they've said that there have been modifications as the pole has moved. There have been weaknesses in areas that get stronger. But recently, there have been these new lines on the Schumann resonance, and they're calling these laser beam lines, where there's strengths and then there's weaknesses, areas that are completely dead and areas that are completely solid.
Is this coming from Stephen Burns, or where's this coming from?
There's been so many. I don't even know. I kind of scroll through them.
Yeah.
But I've seen on Instagram. It must be because I follow probably UFO stuff. It's pouring into my feed. Between that and then solar spots, there's been this one guy, Dottie. I've commented for him to come on the show because he'd actually be pretty good on here. He's got his knowledge down when it comes to sunspots, and you'd really appreciate his work. But back to what I was saying, though, about the Schumann resonance and how it's a reflection of the Earth's heartbeat and the magnetic field of the Earth responding to influx of the sun, excess, anything that's going to screw with the gravitational field and the magnetic field of the planet. And we've been having these odd occurrences that make us think that we are in the middle of a magnetic flip.
Yeah, of course we are.
So I think that we accelerated that flip. We brought that flip on, referencing back to what you'd said. We had how many? I always thought
the magnetic flip we're getting is not because of anything we've done on this planet or the planet's dynamics. We're dealing with the interaction between our solar system and the galactic magnetic current sheet that connects us back to what is the supermassive black hole at the center of our Milky Way galaxy?
I know what you're referring to, but I don't know the name of it.
So there's like a magnetic field. You've got it at the center of every galaxy. They say, "Oh my God, look all these millions of galaxies out there," and it's like, well, no, look all those supermassive black holes that are out there. Those things that are just spinning around that's the galaxy. But at the center of our galaxy that we've got, it puts off a magnetic field, right? So this is, and it goes out, but the further, when it's really close, it's like a wave, right? It's up and down, but the further away that you get away from the center of the universe, which would be my microphone at this point, it waves more. So as the world, as our sun is not a part of any arm, like of the different arms of our general galaxy. We go at our own rate. We're special. So as we're going around, not only are we going around, but we're also moving up and down and up and down and so on and so forth. So what they've kind of postulated is as our planet goes around the center of our galaxy and we interact with these, if you want to call it the galactic magnetic current sheet, the interaction between our planet, which is part of our sun, a part of our solar system, interacting with the magnetic field coming from the supermassive black hole causes the, if you want to call it, the transitory movement of our poles. It causes them to move.
Okay. There's a term
but
for this.
Here's the thing really quick. If you look at 8 of the 9 planets in our solar system, every single planet except Mercury right now is exhibiting a change to both the frequency of the planet and to their climate and their for what we can observe as well. So it's not just Earth. And people can say, well, maybe all the different waste we're doing on Earth with carbon dioxide and everything, that's affecting the other 8 planets in our... No, it's not. There's bigger things in play, but everyone wants to think humans are so important and so big we can change anything.
Okay. So this is where I agree with you, but I go on a tangent and disagree with you at the same time.
Go for it.
Okay. You know how we measure the magnetic flips on our planet, right? We use lava flows and we can tell what the magnetic poles were of the planet at the time, right? Right? You with me still? Okay. So it would lead us to believe that we had what was called gyroscopic precession, which means that eventually when the gyroscope becomes enough out of balance, within 3 rotations, it completely 180 flips itself on its poles. So within 3 complete horizontal rotations, it will have completed it. It's a very quick operation. And we've seen it happen in these lava flows through the ocean and in Hawaii. There's so many great areas that we can see where the magnetic poles have flipped, and it was very quick and non-consequential. There was very little that occurred from it. But the one thing that we're seeing different now that we have not seen is that there's massive holes and weaknesses and strong points all throughout the planet occurring at the same time, multiple poles, almost like you see at the sun. When you see,
well, yes, you just nailed it completely. Yes, there are multiple poles. So when it goes on, I have an image up right now of the South Atlantic magnetic anomaly, which is actually a lot more. If I can open image, a new tab. Let's see if I can get this one up. This is where it's at right now. This is what we're heading towards in the near future. So this is a magnetic anomaly where this is our magnetic shield around the planet is going and collapsing. This is where we're at today. We've gone there in like 10 years, and now in like 10 years or so, we're going to be going to this, which is freaking crazy. That's the collapse of the field that's happening as the poles are transitioning. Now, as you were just saying, yes, what happens is when you go from the North Pole transitioning to the South Pole and it flips, you'll go for a period of time for almost thousands of years where there is absolutely no magnetic field around the planet. And then when it starts coming back, you'll start getting a whole bunch of North Poles and a whole bunch of South Poles all over the place where you have all these little domes that are going over the planet that give you different areas of protection. Then as the poles settle into place, then you're finally going to go back to the whole field like we have today.
Okay. So my tangent, you ready? This is where I go crazy with it. How many thermonuclear bomb tests did you say we've conducted? I thought it was always 2,400. You had a different number. I think it was at 2,700.
United States had done like 1,050.
So
Russia had done about 700. So we had like total of 4,000 or so in general. Yes.
Okay, so you've had 4,000 instances where we recreated a magnetic depth deeper than what the core of our own planet can create for a short instance. And there was a point in time in science history in the late 70s when we realized this. If you remember, the first fear that they had based on the tests, they said, we're going into an ice age. They didn't yet completely understand the science, but they knew we screwed something up. Because there was science at the time for them to monitor the core.
Come on, if we were going to go ahead and heat up and go into an ice age, what's his name? Who was the vice president for Clinton again? Al Gore. Al Gore said by 2010 we were going to be in an ice age.
Al Gore.
Come on, he invented the internet, remember?
I do remember him saying that, yes.
It's a bunch of tubes.
Yes. But at that, it's I think that we have accelerated something and it went out of control. And I think that the governments knew about it a while ago. And that's why there was always a 2030 plan. We've always heard of these shadow governments and the cover-ups of non-human intelligence, and there's a reason for it, and there's a reason it's all accelerating to something. Everyone says they can feel something. It's at the end of times, the change of times. You had Christopher Bledsoe predicting a new civilization, a new order within civilization. You had Reagan talking about everyone uniting under one cause and one flag because of an alien civilization coming in. I think that at some point they realized they screwed something up, and it became very apparent to them that the more intelligent beings were going to smack them in the ass for what they've done.
Okay, so I found the picture. This is what you're talking about. Right now, we've got one North Pole and one South Pole. But what happens when you go through a magnetic flip, you're going to get a North Pole, a South Pole, a South Pole, a North Pole, a South Pole, a North Pole that basically gives you a whole bunch of domes all over the Earth of where you have a magnetic field, and where you don't, you're going to have cosmic energy and radiation coming down to surface level. And that kind of asks the question, why did humanity move underground like 12,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, 15,000 years ago? What was happening on the surface where they had to put their livestock, the crops they grew, and 15, 20,000 people in one particular city center to go ahead and be underground? And it wasn't because there were things going on the surface that were races that they were going ahead and fighting with, because their facilities were wide open. If they wanted to be attacked the way they were set up, they could easily be attacked and everyone would have been killed. They were hiding underground, living underground for hundreds, if not thousands of years, because it wasn't safe to be on the surface. And why wouldn't it be safe to be on the surface? Because this kind of shit goes on our planet on a regular basis, and our government doesn't want us talking about it.
Okay, that is very interesting, because I got to talk with somebody about that today, specifically that today.
Yeah.
We have this new ballroom that a lot of people have conspired, and with Alex Jones batting.
But it's not what's in the ballroom, it's what's underneath it.
Bingo. Okay. And you have all these people building bunkers, but with Göbekli Tepe and all of these, in Turkey, there was that amazing underground city that could hold 30,000 people that guy found when he was doing an addition on his basement, some crazy stuff like that.
Darren Kuyu.
But it shows, yes, and it shows.
You talk about it, I'll keep on going. I can hear, but I need to step away for a sec. Go ahead.
Okay. It shows that there was enough inference that the people knew that they had to excavate the earth to get that much room. And with our understanding of their technology at the time, our understanding is as limited as our belief of what type of technology they had. They built these massive caves and these caverns. They connected it to natural caverns. They had waterways and airways so that way they could completely exist subterranean, which myself, the Irishman that I am, I look like the bottom of a fish. And we evolved to be vitamin D deficient naturally. And this is not by chance or by coincidence. I mean, evolution would show if I was to go farther north, there'd be less of a magnetic field to block the ultraviolet radiation. Look at the indigenous people in northern Canada. They look a heck of a lot darker than my pale ass skin. Or if there's someone in the back that I could also mention who's based in the UK, you're pretty pale there yourself too, buddy, right? Yeah. Andy's shaking his head. We obviously evolved somewhere where the sun wasn't, because if that was the case, why is it that I'm freaking allergic to the sun? I get skin cancer removed at least once every other year.
Because you're part tall whites.
No, we evolved underground, but somebody or something let us know. Something or somebody let us know that this change was occurring, and for whatever reason,
I mean, look at the height. Look at a lot of the stuff in Iran and other places where you have all these facades built into the sides of all these rocks, like they had advanced tech for building it, and you have all these cities like in Turkey and everywhere else where everyone went underground because it wasn't safe to be on the surface.
They had advanced knowledge that it was going to happen, though, Thomas. See, that's the thing.
Why
does our government know, but we don't?
Or, well, I think our government, if they knew, they'd tell us.
Well,
okay, Earth, okay, you've got 25 more years until the world is over. You put that out there, everyone's going to fucking freak out. It'll be
Who
worse.
dug those old tunnels, though? So that's what I'm saying, is that some sign, something
Yeah,
had to have
but
let those people know.
They're in
mass.
Kuyu connects with another city and another city, and it goes all throughout that whole part, even back into Europe.
Which meant that people were digging. They were preparing for whatever they
No,
were trying to protect
it's more of,
themselves
okay,
from.
we are in this situation. We need to continue and expand. So once you can prepare for it to a degree, but then once you're in it, you're going to be in it for 500, 1,000 years. You're going to, society expands.
You think it was that long? See, I from my understanding, when I saw those pictures from Turkey, I looked at maybe like a generation and a half at best, because there was almost no technological advances made while they were living
It goes
there.
along with the stories that they had with the American Indians going from the America West. What was her name again? My name is not getting there at this point again. The Hopi. And they talked about the ant people. And they brought them under the ground because there was going to be a major cataclysm on the surface, right? And they went under the ground for generations, and the ant people taught them all this different knowledge and all this different stuff. And then when it was safe to go back on the surface, they went back again. Sounds about right, but different parts of the world had different things happen at that period of time.
Man, I never put that in perspective. They specifically, the Hopis referred to them as the ant people.
Ant people, yep.
Which meant that they had an inclination to be able to dig underground like that. Because that's the biggest thing for me. That one in Turkey is huge.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
massive. They said 30,000 people.
Yep.
30,000 people could live under there.
But I'm sure there's, if we found one, there's probably 100 out there, Patrick.
Oh, that guy found it by accident. It was complete by accident. It was, we're looking for, with LiDAR,
He was doing stuff in his basement and he broke it into and got into the whole thing. But, you also have to go ahead and look at Malta, where we had those great UFO videos. We went and I saw one of the UFOs, you found two more, and it was just like, holy shit, look what we found, remember?
Yeah.
That's over in Malta. They have the Hypogeum, which is another huge underground complex. But what's cool is you go ahead and stand in one place in the Hypogeum, right? And you go ahead and talk when you're standing in that one place. It's called archaeoacoustics that go on where everybody else within the whole facility can hear your words in their head. By the way, it resonates through the entire place. It's amazing
damn
stuff.
Good math.
Yeah.
That's the simple answer for that one.
Yes.
That's math. But the crazy part, though, is the effort.
But you look at the inside, it's all carved smooth and all these different things, and nothing is like rigid or whatever it is. But yeah, that's math.
No, the stuff in India blows my mind. They'll take one rock, make an entire temple where it's all engraved, into it.
Yeah.
And it's and you're saying to me, oh, we had limited technology, because that stuff
Praveen
dates back
Mohan.
4,500
Yeah,
years.
Praveen, my God, the stuff that he has shown, what's gone on in the temples. You take anything you see for the intricacy and stuff that happened in Egypt. You go to India, you multiply it by 100. It's just amazing stuff that they have there. And their temples, you have these unbelievably amazing carved out statues in the temples of the people, and they've got like different layers of it that are there. But to get the interior layers that way it was put together, we can create, like if someone had something on, they had a layer of skin, had something going over their face or whatever it was, but the full detail of what's underneath this particular layer that's there is like the entire thing, like it's real, and it actually carved it out. There is no question that is probably some of the most advanced ancient history that we've got on the planet.
It took Rome another 3,000 years to develop that level of statuary that India had captured.
But they never even hit that point, because everything was just like David and everybody else standing there. It's not like they could go ahead to the inside where they show the ears and the head and the whole thing and the whole bit, and they could take something and push it through the one side of the head and it comes out with the other.
Yeah.
It's on a whole nother level.
Yeah. No, there's something to it, though. There's something in history that should be teaching us a lesson. As I said, If you don't learn from your history, you'll repeat it. But it seems like the people that repeated it did a better job than we're preparing for, and that's what scares me the most. It seems like they had a heads up, and our heads are up our asses at this point.
Uh-oh.
So,
hold on, brother calling in. Give me a second. Hello.
What's up?
I'll call you as soon as. Bye-bye. Well, they're fucking my son of a bitch. It's my brother. It's his birthday today. I didn't call him and congratulate him. You're closer to the death than I am.
So, but no, my biggest question is how the heck did those ancient civilizations know? What was the key sign that something was occurring? Or was it that a few had already dug down? I mean, why would they have dug down in the first place to live, much less repopulate?
The only reason they dug down to get in there is because they had to go and hide from something that was coming. Either they knew that it was there, or as it was happening, they started digging it because they had to survive. It's not like you're going to go from going good, and all of a sudden it's really bad. You're going to get something that's going to ramp up over time. And if they see things are going, people should be smart to say, okay, let's fucking start digging, people. We need to get through this.
I'm just trying to imagine what would make somebody start to dig down in the ground to live. And whatever was happening,
if they knew that what was imagine you have all these lightning bolts and all of these things coming down and people dying from what's going on, and you realize, wow, it's not safe on the surface, but Bill over there who lives in a cave, he's doing fine.
But it happened at a rate slow enough, though, that they could dig down for a city of 30,000 people off of one intersectional line within.
Patrick, if you get 10,000 people digging at once.
I suppose, but I mean, it's got to be aliens.
But maybe you start off with 10,000 people, and over time it grew and it grew because population, people, like to have sex and have babies.
I'm inclined to believe that they had the telltale signal that something was coming. And I think that our government knows what that signal is, and I think that they've got that signal, and I think they've all prepared for it. And the biggest lie is that they've been covering it up. Is the question how they've been covering up? I mean, is it a matter of covering up information? Was it a matter of them disguising it somehow with weather manipulation? Or was it a message that they were supposed to deliver to us that in previous civilizations, being of something of that importance, it would be almost religious to spread it. It would be the gospel to spread to humanity. Hey, you got to start digging. Here's a drop dead date. Well, we always theorized in every sci-fi movie, who do the aliens always go to talk to? Oh, it's the leaders of the countries. And what do those sons of bitches do when they get that information? They build a goddamn ballroom with a bunker underneath it and don't tell the rest of the world. Zuckerberg with his, and Oprah with hers, and Trump with his. I mean, come on. Somehow they knew to dig before, and for some reason they're doing it now.
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the Cold War.
Yeah, but there has to be something. But also, you look at some of the stuff, you have to say, what was the advanced technology they used to build this stuff so quickly?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Either there was advanced technology we don't know of, or there was advanced warning that we don't know of. But one of the two had to have existed. And that's an uncomfortable reality to live with for a lot of people. That we're not the smartest humans that have humaned.
That's okay. I'll take that. Really quick, I want to get to this one before we end the show. Ed, we talked about this before. Bob Avangas's 2026 Alien Armada prophecy exploding as Trump teases UFO files. Blind mystic Bob Avanga, who's the Nostradamus of the Balkans, predicted of a massive spacecraft entering the atmosphere in November 2026, proving we're not alone. This kind of aligns with some of the stuff you've been saying, Ed.
Well, I say August or September of 2026, but similar.
Yeah.
All that's coming together, and maybe like Patrick, like you're saying, maybe the government knows it and it's not telling us, but we're sitting here not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, That's where we can get to. I just want to bring this up. It was something else, my thing. I had my feed. I went and saved this for you specifically, but we did get a super chat coming in from Lavero Lucchini. Outstanding question for our guest, Thomas. Using our tech, this is for you, Patrick. Using our tech, such as measly rockets, to communicate, we could communicate on a less warlike vibe. It could be our advantage overall. War is too popular. Your thoughts?
Try it one more time. Wow.
Okay, outstanding question for you, Patrick. Using our technology, such as measly rockets, to communicate, we could communicate on a less warlike vibe. It could be to our advantage. Overall, war is too popular, meaning putting missiles up there, putting messages in the sky, not necessarily putting missiles out there to blow things up.
I don't know. I don't think that has anything. I mean, every evolution is going to have a defensive means if it's to evolve beyond its limitations. So I don't see that. I've heard that theory of we're going to blow ourselves up, we're going to exterminate ourselves. That might be a component of it. But just fighting in the sandbox is going to be typical of the evolution of any species, because you have to evolve beyond your basic. If your basic is you're within a jungle with predators, you have to be able to outsmart them. You have to be able to outdo them. You have to fight them. You're only going to develop these skills as time go on until only the strongest still exist. Whether the strongest are valued in their intellect or the strongest are valued in their valor and strength, that depends on the society at the time. But I don't buy that idea. I don't think that would stop them, because they're not going to be susceptible to our type of weaponry. With the technology they've shown us, we've learned how to possibly intercept them with radar, with high-frequency radar and microwave systems. And even the use of nuclear weapons, drawing them into our frequency, knocking them out of the atmosphere. But it seems that a warning must have been given, because we all gave up on those bomb tests.
You're kind of talking like the Noah, the kind of Noah thoughts that someone was given an idea this what was going to happen, and he built a big boat to go ahead and try and save part of Earth at that point in time. But in this other way, we're looking, in addition to that, there were those who didn't build boats; they built cities high in the altitudes, but cities underground that would protect them from the radiation that would be coming from the sun.
Oh, or even worse, when God only told Lot to escape Sodom and Gomorrah, and then he wiped out everybody else.
But you know what happened there, right?
Don't look back or you die. And then
so when Sodom and Gomorrah happened, there was actually an asteroid that came into Earth. It sliced off the top of a mountain in Switzerland. That mountain went up into the upper atmosphere, came down and rained on Sodom and Gomorrah and killed everybody. So someone was told to go ahead and get the hell out of there. God is going to come and wipe it out. But what really happened was an asteroid came in, which, if there was a highly advanced civilization here watching over stuff, would tell people, get the fuck out of there. This thing's going to come in. It's going to slice in. It's going to put this stuff up there. We ran the simulations. We see where it's going to go. Leave. Right? Because that's kind of what happened.
Or from the J.D. Vance perspective, instead of an advanced civilization telling him, get the hell out of there, it was God, apparently. According to, this is the thing. This is right. Where.
So if God created Earth, right?
Yeah.
And our solar system.
Yeah.
And our galaxy.
Still with you.
And our universe.
I hear you.
God could also have created multiple universes and the system of all these different things, and as well as all the different dimensions. One hell of a scientist, huh?
I don't disagree with you on that. because the creator of all knows all. I don't create. My God isn't.
So if there
limited to my
was someone in
ideas.
this science lab who did this shit and created everything, should we be calling him God?
Who says it's a science lab? Why are you putting such
no,
a
I'm
massive
just.
thing in a
I am
small
throwing
hole?
out one little thing out there to go ahead and say, if that was the case, would it still be considered God? Because yes, he is the one who created everything that's going down, but really he's just a guy in a lab who was doing things, created all this different stuff and all these different things that cascaded out for what we're dealing with. But it's just someone who's dealing with
The
it.
Bible says, I am your God. He didn't say I am the only God. He says, I am the only God you worship. and I
No,
am
man
your
said
God."
that.
Well, here's the thing, right? So who's to say you aren't right, that we aren't some science experiment of a being greater than us, but that there aren't many beings greater than us?
And there
We
could
are
be
but
many
one
beings greater
universe.
than God that he reports to.
Exactly. We could be a science experiment for some 7th grade God.
Right, so we could be like dealing with The Office.
He's got, hey, let's hope he doesn't hit hormones soon, because this shit's going to get crazy.
Well, the whole thing looks like the structure of a brain or a mushroom, for that matter.
Oh, hey, it's explained itself, Thomas, isn't it? It's all becoming clear.
Oh, we do.
We're a 7th grade science experiment.
So, talking about a science experiment, we got a little clip here from Representative Eric Burleson talking about Neil McCaslin, Daryl, who says he knew had far too much at stake from a national security perspective. Alice, you're in the hospital. You're there. You're alive. Woo!
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
All right. So let's deal with this great position of Burleson staring locked on something, and let's hear about that. Here we go.
Interesting. Now, I think the focus should be General McCaffrey.
One thing before we get too far on this, I want to apologize for YouTube fucking with the channel and fucking with what we try and do here. When things are done with the show, I'll go ahead and put in a commercial. You're not going to see everyone once every 15 minutes. Right, Daryl?
Right.
It's like what you get on television set. That's about accurate, right? One commercial every 15 minutes, not so bad compared to TV, right?
Yeah.
So, this is what YouTube did to one of the last shows we did. They've got a commercial, Daryl, almost every minute and a half.
Jeez.
Is that fucking nuts? This is not me. People complain about more commercials and things going on. It's not me. That's fucking YouTube doing this automatically. And after I end the show, I have to go in and wait a certain amount of time that I can get in there and delete all this shit. And if I don't, it'll be the next day. And I'm sorry. And for those who watch the show after we're done and you deal with all this fucking bullshit, it's not me.
Well, I don't deal with it at all.
I have a YouTube subscription too, but I just wanted to point this out. I saw this. You know, they used to have, this was like double what they used to do. They're fucking crazy.
Does it actually interrupt the live stream to do a commercial?
Audience, if you're watching right now, let me go ahead and do this right now. I think some people have said they actually get, let me see if I can get to this. Start a poll. Do you, okay, let's see. I get ads during the live. Yes or no? Okay, audience, this is up for you. Do you get ads during the live? %3 saying yes, now saying no. So some people are getting it, Daryl. Some people are getting ads during the live stream. Now, I have YouTube Premium. I bought that several years ago. It's the best monthly fee I could possibly have. But some people I have seen during the show saying there's too many ads during the live.
During the live,
during the live, they actually do it, and I actually have it turned off. And they say there's an ads automator. I can go ahead and increase my revenue by 15 to 30%. Go ahead and turn it on, and I always have that turned off. But this is the kind of shit that they do to our audience because I need to be a little more vigilant to turn this kind of shit off. That's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, how can people actually keep track of what's being...
There's 2 here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there's 1 every 2 minutes, not even.
Maybe that's the reason why a lot of people only watch for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's sucky.
So, final comment from the audience. 42% of the audience has said yes, they've gotten ads during the live. It's not me. I have it turned off. And I appreciate everybody hanging out because it's a live show. You don't get a lot of those on YouTube. So in the poll, there we go. Bullshit, isn't it? All right, is there anything else here that we missed? Yeah, there's a bunch of new pictures that came up from NASA. All right.
Best we know.
We got a clip here of Ross Colhart, who's less, well, down there. Let's see what Ross has to say. Sorry, Ross, we love you, but...
At this stage, officially, there hasn't actually been an executive order made by the president yet relating to the transparency on these UAP files. He's made a promise on Truth Social.
It's not a promise, it's a fucking statement. He didn't say, I promise to release this, right, Alice? I see you looking. Your hand is up. There you go.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I was going back a few, though, with the lot and turning the woman into salt, and the other crash in the Ukraine where there were 16 military supposedly turned into a salt-like substance.
Well, you're talking back during the Russian days. We can get back on that if you want.
I tried to. That's when I raised my hand. I'm sorry.
Oops, don't worry about it. Come on, let's go for it. Yeah, so there were things that went on where there was stuff coming from the Russians. They saw stuff that was going on. They actually had some UFOs that were coming in. They did something to blow up the craft that the aliens had, and that came down to it. There were multiple 2 or 3 non-human intelligences that were on the ground. They kind of went and merged together, and then they put something out that went and turned them into rock or salt or whatever. Yeah,
that's what makes me think about Sodom and Gomorrah, and when the woman turned to salt.
But Sodom and Gomorrah, they've proved that what happened was there was an asteroid that came in, took off the top of a mountain in Switzerland, put it in the upper atmosphere, and came and rained down on it.
Oh, I didn't understand that. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a whole documentary out there, and they found the ancient cities in Sodom and Gomorrah. They went and found all the tiles from the buildings that were there. But the most thing that was beyond that was everything. There were thousands of burial sites, or like burials where they dug all the different independent graves going around the whole area. This is probably at least 5-6 years ago. If you look into it, there's some interesting stuff out there.
Thank you. As for releasing the files, I think Trump said that he was going to do that on his first week in office. And aren't we about a year?
That was the file. No, he said he was going to release the information about the drones.
Okay.
But then he talked about it, and he said he can't talk. People said, I can't talk about it.
Okay, well, I'm still waiting. I'm patiently waiting for this.
Aren't we all?
Well, some are impatiently. I've been in the impatient also.
Yeah, we love you, my dear lady. But it's great to see you've got a pulse and you've got good color going through you. How's the grape size blood clot in your heart doing? Is it getting smaller?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I had an MRI done yesterday, and after 9 days on anticoagulants, it shrunk more than 25%.
Of what it was before.
Yes.
Nice.
On the CAT scan, it was larger. So in 9 days.
So you've been in for a couple weeks, maybe another week or two, and you'll be out of there.
I'm hoping so.
How's the food?
It makes me feel safe being here, but it's hard being away from my
But, you know,
dog
forget
and
about
stuff,
safety. We all want to know, Alice, how's the food?
Oh, my God. Not good at all.
Have you had pea soup lately? Tomato soup?
It looked like pea soup.
You've forgotten what salt tastes like.
I actually ordered out to Chipotle today. Thankfully, I'm in Orlando in the middle of every restaurant you could imagine. And I ordered from Chipotle today, and it was delicious.
Yeah, I remember when Mike was in the hospital recently. His one of his relatives brought him a burger. He was so happy to have that.
It makes all the difference. Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does, because the food. You know, they want people to recover, but the food is so horrible. That I have to say, though, when I had my neck surgery done and I was down at Cedars-Sinai's in L.A., I had freaking filet mignon for my dinner.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it was good.
From the hospital?
At the hospital, yes, filet mignon for my dinner. It's like, what do you want? Do you want this, or whatever it was? But unfortunately, I was clicking the button too many times, which, yeah. Great to see you with the smile on your face. You look much better than last week.
Oh, thank you. I just love being on, with you guys.
Oh, yeah, it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anything else? Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff that I missed. We got that. A lot of great pictures coming from the moon. Sorry, there's like 1,200 pictures that came from NASA. We didn't cover those today. I like this picture of the moon. This is just amazing. There's like they did multiple image stackings to kind of get the whole images. You know, Alice, they just don't call it the dark side of the moon. It's not the dark side. It's the far side of the moon. It's fully lit at all times. Now, this thing I saw, this is called a... I've
heard the moon has color, too. It's not just gray. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. And this is something that looks like a spaceship coming from the mantis.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. This is like an event that happens. A cumulonimbus. It's called Hylias. It's a lenticular clouds that has water droplets on top of it that go ahead and reflects of no friends. Although it looks like it could be from the mantis. Yes. No, it's just our atmosphere. All right, so this one's interesting. So Joshua coming from the UAP doctor. This guy is fucking cool as shit. UAP doctor, I appreciate your stuff. This one is really interesting. Come on, you son of a bitch. Let's get to it. From Joshua Tree, the family photographs a giant reflective H hovering for 45 minutes near military airspace. Birthday balloon for Henry or something a bit more anomalous? They say it vanished, then came back, which is exactly why it was recently submitted to Ryan Graves' Safe Aerospace. Get back into that. One heck of an image. Alice, this doesn't look like a birthday balloon, does it?
It does look metallic. The structure is a little more than a balloon would probably have, unless it was some type of a military type device, balloon, collecting data.
Oh, yeah.
How about the trajectory? What was the trajectory?
It was just hanging out there in the sky for 45 minutes, and then it vanished.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
Is anything about the size of it?
This came from the Daily Mail. Let's jump into it. The story that was there is not there. Oops.
Okay.
Well, actually, they want me to pay for it, so let's forget about that one. What else do we have going on here? We got Ross Colhart talking about that many times. All right, so apparently, folks, YouTube has had a bug. It's currently affected by a major bug that causes individual video tabs to consume over 7 gigabytes of RAM. you're having issues going on with YouTube, it's not me. It's YouTube. Easiest ways to get past it is quit the YouTube, quit your browser, restart it every couple hours. Because unless you have like 64 gigs of RAM or 96, you're going to be running into problems. All right, so we got crazy, that one. We've covered that one, everything. We've got that. Oh, we've talked about
AI,
Luna.
YouTube is that there's so much AI on there anymore. Every other channel is created by AI anymore.
Well, the AI is out there. I look at X and say, is this AI? So, did we just get another super chat coming? After my last super chat shutdown, crazy. Stay on it, Thomas. You get pissed. I'm giving you the money to show support. Thank you very much. So apparently there is a channel on YouTube called Cock Hawkers. Oh my God. I need to go. YouTube. Okay, let's see where this goes.
Hey, there's your Northern Lights, Thomas. Gotta get some
I know it's not there. Cock Hawkers? Where's it at? Cock Hawkers. I can't find the channel. Cookie Bird. Lavera, you need to give us a real link. We'll check it out. Oh my goodness, where are we at? All right, remember Sean Spicer? The first press secretary of President Trump, and he totally freaked out, went nuts. He's actually asking Representative Burchett about UFOs. So let's see where Tim is going to take us on this one. Here we go.
Revelation in the last couple of weeks about what the government knows about UFOs.
Book of Revelation.
What should we as citizens know?
We should be asking the question, what are we spending tens of millions of dollars on if they don't exist? Why in the world?
Bingo! There you go, folks. Alice, why would we be spending hundreds of millions of dollars on things if they don't exist?
You always follow the money, don't you?
You have to, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
If the money's going someplace, that's where
there's something going on, and it's not just going back to Somalia in this case.
That's correct.
Why did they figure it out? Why didn't we figure it out, Alice? You know how set we would have been right now? The millions of dollars, especially you down in Florida, for all the accounts you could have gotten for hospices.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Did you know Trump was in the Villages Friday?
I saw that. That was awesome.
Yeah. I wasn't, but he was.
You're in the hospital. You are.
I'm in Orlando.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go.
Do we have people within departments telling us what they do exist, and then somebody else says they don't? And why should some punk and a man with a man bun tell the members of Congress?
I love it. He always brings out the guy in a man bun.
Crazy.
I love that with his coat. My God.
That the president's on a need-to-know basis. I think we should know all the answers to all those. It's not about little green men. It's not about flying saucers. It's
not about little men in a plaid suit. I never realized how short Sean Spicer is. Maybe I have, but I wonder if I think he looks shorter than Lou. Maybe not.
About the truth. It's about transparency.
Okay, and when and how could we? I mean, is this pressuring the right people, subpoenaing the right people, forcing?
Well, I think President Trump just needs to know the right questions to ask, because they're not obviously going to be honest with him. And I think that's because I think he's a skeptic, and that's fine. Some of the members of Congress that are the biggest UFO
but you know what, Alice? I like hear that. He says Trump is a skeptic. You have to be, right?
I don't think he's presidents are at the top of the security.
No, but he said Trump is a skeptic, which is something we all need to be. We need to be skeptical of the information we hear, because there's a lot of bullshit we get fed from people like Greer and others out there, Avi Loeb, etc., that want to go ahead and tell you things. Some people in military uniforms from Eglin Air Force and other places who claim things that have happened when there's not a lot of stuff that's happened, right?
Well, it's a whole realm of disinformation.
Oh God, yeah.
Hey, well, I was interested in what Anna Paulina Luna said about if we wanted to understand ET was to read the book, what the Book of
Enoch.
Enoch? Have you heard that one?
Yeah. Patrick,
That's
your
pretty
thoughts on that?
interesting.
Reading the Book of Enoch to go ahead and understand the alien.
Well, that's from the Ethiopian Bible, so.
But where is the Ark of the Covenant? Patrick, where is the Ark of the Covenant currently reside? Which country?
Oh, I do want conspiracy. Oh, well, some would say Ethiopia, but many would say in Mar-a-Lago.
No. Ethiopia.
Yes. Well, check into it. You'll be amazed.
I've looked, I've seen is a reproduction. It is in Ethiopia, and there is a guy who is going and guarding the
monks, the
church where it is, and the guys, like, they go blind with cataracts after a short amount of time because the amount of radiation that they're exposed to from that site, right?
Yeah, there's a small
And
church
when
there in
all of the different rebels came in to that area where the Ark is supposedly at, when all of the rebels came in, all of the people of the area came in without question to protect the Ark from the invaders. And they created a human shield around it, and they kept the people out from going there.
It is pretty cool stuff. I have looked into it a bit, but they're so secretive about it. You can never interview any of the monks. They go in, they die, they come out, and that's the end of their story.
Right.
So there's nothing more than that. I've tried. I've followed some travel vloggers that have gone up to the gates of it.
Oh yeah.
They've
Same
seen
here.
the monk walking around the building, but nothing. There's no information about it. And
He
that's
won't
so
talk to you
tough
about shit.
because
You can't get that close to it, and that's it. You're done.
the church, they won't even talk about it. They claim it's in there, but they won't bring any evidence of it. And I understand why. I mean, they don't want the attention. The internet's what's brought the attention to it. They've believed
And it
that
should.
they've had the Ark of
The
the
Earth
Covenant
should
for
have
2,000
attention to
years.
it. If this is where potentially ET can phone home, right?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Reagan had said
Come
that we had
on,
the
you can.
technology.
This is the walkie-talkie to talk to God.
You think
The
that that's
vengeful
what it
one who
is?
loves to kill so many people on the planet when they don't listen, and they avenge him.
See,
Right?
That's the thing. I guess if you submit to that, if that's
Oh,
what
God,
you
yeah.
want, you know. But that's not what I believe, and I think that what they have in Ethiopia is something that's wicked cool. I think it's unique. I think it's worth exploring. Same with the Kaaba stone at Mecca. There's some really cool stuff that has some non-human explanation, has some extras. Didn't come from Earth. We can't explain it. If there's any Muslims in the audience, if you guys want to talk about the Kaaba stone, what Islam's belief is with that, this audience will pick right up on it. That's an amazing story where it was delivered to the planet to offer desire and hope. And now look at where it's placed and look at how many people it attracts. I mean, it's amazing. So there's a lot of these situations on Earth that we can look at. They're not isolated. It's not one-offs. It repeats itself over and over again in these very specific patterns. There's a really unique video over Mecca, and I want to say it was probably 2001 or 2003, where it was before the cell phone camera. Someone was using one of these handheld cameras. It was an early digital camera, and this light descended upon Mecca, and it stayed there for a little bit, and then it just shot up straight up in the air, and it was caught on some security
Hold on a
cameras
second,
that
really
went
quick.
back.
The Holy Grail that went on, that wasn't just Catholic. That was going back when they were taking the Grail, going around the cities and stuff. That's like from the Bible stuff, from the Old Testament, right? That's not just Catholic. Does that get in? Does that get into
What do you mean with the Holy Grail? The Holy Grail didn't exist until the New Testament, the end of the New Testament. Because
No.
Jesus drank from the Holy Grail at the Last Supper.
He drank from, right?
I'm sorry, not the
And
Holy
then-
Grail. The
Ark of the Covenant.
Ark of the Covenant. That came from the Old Testament. When they
Correct.
had the
It had the dimensions on it.
right,
Mhm.
that's when they had the sounds of the ark going, and they were playing like the trumpets and stuff that brought down the walls of the city, right? Jericho.
It was also allegedly what was the power that ended the Second Temple, because the Jews did not meet the conscript of their faith. Basically, they stopped sacrificing properly, and it was the power of the ark that did that.
Right.
And then the ark was taken to Ethiopia along with the Ethiopian Bible, which is the oldest known written Bible that's out there, which is amazing.
Right, but some of the stuff that's in the Bible is predated by writings that came from the Sumerians that are in clay. And the thing that's interesting about being in clay, Patrick, is once it's been put down in clay, you cannot change the text and write on top of it. It's there permanently.
Correct. And that's we also had we had the Lost Sea Scrolls, the Dead Sea
Scrolls, yes.
Which were this is what really bothers me as a Catholic. There were things in there that the Vatican discounted because they said that they were not first-hand accounts of Christ. Okay.
Yeah, but fine. I go for the Old Testament stuff. Yeah, I may be born and raised Catholic, but the stuff from the Old Testament, you can't go ahead and rule it out because of something that happened later in time.
I'm just saying with how the Catholics got rid of a bunch of books.
Akhenaten is basically Moses, this same individual. You look at the stories that go in history and then from religion, and it parallels each other, and it shows what we dealt with. And if you look what Akhenaten looked like, a.k.a. Moses, he wasn't fucking human. Neither was his wife.
Thomas, I just saw a very interesting UFO video. Can you play the video, actually?
Okay. Copy. Give me a second.
Hey, Thomas, real quick before that, I just want to encourage anybody who's interested in this topic to go ahead and look up the Knights of Templar. It's a lot of interesting facts, and they can lead you to where you want to know, too. So that's it. Sorry, Nick. Love you.
Okay. So this is an 11-minute video.
No.
I just played the which part of you want the part with Goldie Hawn?
I just saw this video right now. Can you open up chat? The chat's not available at the moment. It says the chat isn't available at the moment.
I've got the link right here.
No. This is a different video.
That's what you just put in the chat.
No, this is a different one. I'll be right back. Okay, I'll play the video.
Okay, so that's from Metal Gaming. Wow. All right, so Nick has found something. Let me get this from Interstellar. Copy link address. Let's try this one. That's for the fucking show. No.
I can't play the video because it says the chat is disabled right now.
It's on now, Nick. Go for it.
Okay. Yes. This one.
We're running late today, folks. Yeah. I know. I need to go to bed, but
it's an interesting one, Thomas.
Okay, there you go. From Spooky UFO, copy link address. What does God need with the starship?
And that sent me a text message. I was in a...
Oh, son of a bitch. Sounds like a fucking Baptist preacher. And that looks like the same UFO from my fucking title card. Just want to point that out. Where's that at? There we go. Okay, so that does look like my title card tonight.
Meeting, a weekend meeting, preaching Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. And he said,
muted,
Perry,
Thomas.
can you...
What?
It's muted. No one can hear anything.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm in Chrome. That's why you can hear. Son of a bitch. Let me get back to here. Let me get to here. Sorry, you got to hear the... Oh, God. Here we go. Sorry, folks.
That sent...
Okay, one more time. Let's get back to the pastor, Perry Stone.
I had a friend that sent me a text message. I was in a meeting a weekend meeting preaching Friday, Saturday, and
Okay, that's already signs. Take it with a grain of salt.
Sunday morning. And he said, Perry, can you give me a call? I have some information that has come to my attention. Of course,
which I've never gotten a call like that before.
When a friend of yours does that you know quite well, you have no idea what information they're talking about. And I'm not going to go into
I don't think we want to know, Perry.
Great detail.
Oh, fuck you. Just give us the top line. Don't give us the detail.
But there were a large number of pastors that had been invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States government and others share with them a concern that they had. And this particular man, and I'll not name him.
Okay, all you're hearing right now is because he doesn't know how to, not talking to a mic.
And then we may end up doing some teachings with him or having an event at his church. He has a great church. But he said, Perry,
fucking tie this to religion, don't they?
What they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning.
There's going to be a release. There's an opportunity to give to help us bring this message across. Please give, everybody. Fucking A, that's where it's going.
Aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft that some of the people who were in the meeting were telling us as pastors, you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released. And some of it.
There's other things out there that are beyond us. Let's open our eyes. God has created more than the earth and has created the universe. And to think he just created what happened here and we don't have this out there is just blasphemous, right? Right, Alice?
Are you sure he's not going to the demons thing again here, though? I'm not sure about that.
I've been told I have a lot of content in the chat. Oh, we need to hear this. We need to move on our believing in God and be able to give him money to help him understand this cause.
I'd like to do a survey about how many of our.
I'm sorry. I'm having fun with this.
Or ET. That would be a great survey, Thomas.
Absolutely. Let's just move on.
It has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our
shit,
planet.
Dude. Really? Yeah.
Very strange reptilian-looking creatures and other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book.
He looks more like Orson Welles.
Reptilians.
Oh my God, Nick! This is fucking gold.
Is this Stephen Greer's brother? That's Stephen Greer's brother.
No, he's not. No, he's but not this is where we have the opportunity to open our wallets and help him spread the word. That's what I'm talking about, friends.
With Jesus, we can speak to the aliens through this 5K thing that my brother Stephen came up with out in the desert. So for $5.99 every minute.
I mean, Tommy, this actually talk about reptilians. This is they actually talk about our reptilians, which is pretty far out there, Thomas.
Yeah, it's less than a step away from your wall to go ahead and help me, help you, and help the world. It's your opportunity. God, all we need now is the one with all the fucking big fucking blonde hair curled up and just crying all the time.
Tammy Faye Baker.
Wasn't it a reptilian in Eden, like the snake that gave the apple? I mean, we don't really think it was a snake, possibly a reptilian.
I don't know, but
I mean, come on, it wasn't a snake that gave Eve an apple. It had to be something.
I know, but this is just priceless. Thank you, Nick. This is just like gold. We got to follow this. I need to follow this guy, Perry Stone.
They had private jets. Now they're going to want their own UFOs. Thomas.
Oh, God. I saw the one video of that one guy who got the private jet. He looks like a fucking lizard.
Oh, my God. When he talked about the demons, you see his eyes? Holy crap.
If there's UFOs, Trump is going to want one. He's going to want his own.
Oh, there it is. They're on. There was a white guy. He looked fucking evil.
He's an old guy.
Yeah, he was,
He wagged his finger in that lady's face and said, "Don't you say I said that."
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah.
Oh, give me a moment.
Yeah.
He's a name it and claim it preacher.
And Jesus will buy you a mansion in heaven if you buy me one here today. The best was now lock those back doors until I have $40,000. Did you see that one? Oh,
I found him. Google found him, though. Here we go.
Watch this news reporter confront Kenneth Copeland and then watch this Christian leader's personal plea to him.
How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business, but...
Isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid. You kind of caught me off guard here, okay? The airplane that we have that I bought from Tyler, he made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
Again, getting back to the comment, you said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
If you're watching this, Mr. Copeland, I do hate what you do. You are not a Christian. You are deceiving and you are being deceived. You are a liar, a thief, you're a blasphemer. Confess your sin before a thrice holy God. Ask him to grant you repentance.
Yeah.
And faith.
Evil motherfuckers, eh, my friends?
That guy's one of the worst that I've seen.
Yeah.
Kenneth Copeland has been around for years. I am surprised he is still alive.
How are you?
Here's what happened. We flew in 21 days.
How are you, sir?
And I wanted to punch the guy out myself. I can't be doing that while 40,000 continents. Touched 5 continents. And
Yeah, this guy's fucking evil. And that's what we deal with.
He has been around forever and ever. Like I said, he's 89 years old. He was one of those preachers back in the 80s. You know, he'd speak in tongues quite a bit, along with Robert Tilton from Word of Faith. He was part of that crowd. Like I said, I'm surprised this guy is still alive and he's buying jets.
Yeah.
Who was giving him money? Who was giving him money?
They called
He's had a ministry for
time.
He's had a ministry for all of his adult life.
Yeah.
Get this now. Hey, you listening to me?
He's fucking evil, my friends. And that's why we don't want UFOs to turn into another religion. Because this is exactly the kind of slime that's going to come forward and say we've got the next coming from the God, from the angels, from the demons, and they're here, and you need to support me and help us prevent this from Jesus Christ, his name, from happening again.
Oh, I'll be the first to step up, Thomas. If there are some dollar signs on this bullshit train, I will take it. You will see me up there, but it won't be, it'll be about worshiping the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, step on up and you can ride on the alien train to meet Mr. Jesus.
Exactly.
Pay $5. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who's
Take it for a minute. I need to hit the restroom. I'll be right back. Take it for my friend.
Patrick, you're in the game. Play it.
I can't understand why people buy into this shit. I'm sorry. Like, I've gone deep into my faith in the last, few years, and it's been very rewarding to me. But I've done it through, self-study, practice, all this kind of stuff. And I watch these guys, Kenneth Copeland, Thomas is right, man. They will turn a religion out of anything that'll make $1. Who the hell is giving this guy enough money that he's got a private jet? Who's got that sitting around?
What he does is he claims that if you help him, you're helping Jesus, and so many people want to help Jesus. That's the whole
prosperity. He has a prosperity ministry.
Explain that to me. Explain it to me as a dumb Catholic. What is prosperity ministry?
What Alice said. Would you say, Alice, take it, think it and take it, or something like that?
Well, it's called name it and claim it. So if they teach their subjects, whatever they would call them, they're all you need to do is say something enough and it's going to be yours. And then they go into the Bible with tithing, and they use the tithing part to tell their people that they need to give money to the church, and it will be multiplied so many times.
10 times over will come back to you in the end. So give all you can, and give all you can today to the name of Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do.
The blessing, and then they sell little handkerchiefs that are blessed, and you can donate $1,000 and get a blessed handkerchief. There are so many ways the game is.
Hallelujah.
You know, Patrick, maybe we do need to open that church.
You know, Thomas, I'm thinking, because here's the deal. You had a sci-fi writer start one of the biggest cults going right now, and they make billions of dollars. They own half of L.A. at this point.
Covered, right?
And then some.
Fuck it. Let's do it. Excuse my language.
Absolutely. On that note, my friends, you hear the music going in the background. It's that time of the night. Yes, we ran 43 minutes late tonight, but you know what? We're having a fun time. Praise be the Lord, my friends. I want to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure Tonight. Everyone in the back, everyone in the front chat. And as we usually say at the end, you know, thank you for all the super chats really quick. I guess I need to go ahead and thank the people who throw some money out to us and donations to the Church of Disclosure. Banana Bowie once, let's say Brennan England. We got Shelly Montgomery, Lakina Lavera once, Lakina Lavera twice. Thank you very much, everybody. Alice, thanks for coming out. Patrick, thank you for the wonderful conversation.
Great time, Thomas. Great time tonight.
Absolutely.
Hospital stay just almost that much better.
Absolutely. As we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure Tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody, but
go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We'll catch you on the flip side. See ya Friday, everybody. Maybe sooner. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.